Hello. Yep, we're gonna have cheesecake. That's the plan. So, welcome back, everybody. Um, yeah, we're making cheesecake, pumpkin cheesecake. I never made this one before, so this could be interesting. I haven't made a cheesecake from scratch. I've made a cute cheesecake from scratch in decades, and I've never made this recipe, so it's gonna be a thing. So let me get my apron and let's get started. I did measure out my cream cheese ahead of time. This one is actually kind of a cheaty recipe. It uses. I'll show you in a moment. Let me get my apron on here, right? Let's see. A very domestic apron. Yeah. Kind of if I didn't wear it, I'd make a huge mess. And um, yep. Getting it all. Alrighty. And a reminder, I can't see whatever's going on Twitch. So if anything exciting happens, y'all gonna have to tell me because I can't see. So anything like subs or raids or anything like that, I don't know. Alrighty, so let me click on my mic and we can get started. So yeah, pumpkin spice cheesecake. This is from the Six Sisters stuff, and this is kind of a shortcutty type cookbook. So this is the goal. I don't have any whipped cream, but this is the goal. Um, So the recipe requires 1 box of spice cake. I had to order this one. This one was hard to find. For me, anyway, I had to get one that doesn't have soybean oil in it. A lot of them do, so I had to be very particular. But yes, just a box of spice cake mix. 3 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, softened cream cheese. I had to buy 3 large tubs of it, which was a lot more than this. So you have to kind of use your scale. Cream cheese has come up before, and Brad and I talked about it's spice cake, um, the cream cheese, and I had said to be wary of using this stuff in the tub. And to clarify, you can use this stuff in the tub for cheesecake. Just make sure it doesn't say whipped, because whipped has air whipped into it and it's going to change your cake consistency. But yeah, spice cake. It's cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. So it is a winter spice cake. So cake, cream cheese, eggs, your can of pumpkin, a can of sweetened condensed milk, and some pumpkin pie spice. And then the ingredients that you need to make the cake, which will be water, eggs, and oil. So pretty straightforward, but I've never made one like this before. This is the first time I've never actually gotten one of these to work before. My mom had one growing up. I never saw her use it. I don't know why she had it, but she had it. We never used it for anything. Um, it's the spice cake without pumpkin in it. So it's gonna be our crust. That's gonna be the crust for our cheesecake. Um, so we're gonna use this. Yeah. I tested it earlier. It does hold water, so it should hold my cake better. But the recipe says to make the cake mix as done. Then we're going to put it into the pan with prep, of course. And we're going to cook that for 15 to 17 minutes, which is not a complete cake, right? Then while that's doing that, we're going to do the cream cheese, the eggs, pumpkin, all that stuff. And you're going to pour that into the cake mix and this, and then we're going to bake it for about an hour. And then hopefully at the end, we will have cheesecake. Unfortunately, a drawback of cheesecake is it takes forever to set. A real cheesecake takes forever to set, and it won't be ready to eat till today, which does kind of suck. But the actual making of it is very quick compared to most real cheesecakes. A real cheesecake, like the big thick ones that people, just are the best ones, take like all day, because you have to do. They'll be in a pan like this but it'll be submerged in water inside your oven to make sure, kind of like braising it to make sure that the heat gets to the inside and not just the top. Yeah, if you're planning on serving a fresh cheesecake, you got to do it the day before because it takes like 4 hours to set in the fridge or overnight, ideally, just to make sure it gets a good solid set on it. So yeah, the that part's the hard part. The In theory, this is a straightforward cake mix. This is a straightforward cheesecake. Um, so we shall see. So first thing it says is preheat the oven, which I'm not going to do because I'm standing right in front of it. Prep the pan. Now I got very lucky. I'm going to. It says use spray pan. I'm not going to use spray pan. I don't use spray stuff. Um, I'm going to use butter, and then on top of the butter, I'm going to put this is parchment paper, and that will help it pop from the bottom a lot easier and not stick. So let me do that right quick, and then I will prep the cake and we'll pop that in. And while that's in, I can do the rest because that's going to be about 15 minutes. That's the plan, anyway. That is the plan. Before I forget, admin stuff. Admin. um, I do still have all my Dune merch. Exclamation point merch will show you my site that's got all my Dune stuff on it. I have been thinking about cooking stuff, but I don't know what I'm going to do for cooking stuff. My shameless plug. Um, for cooking, because cooking is a bit more expensive than just plain old streaming, I do have a wish list on Amazon. So it'd be exclamation point wish list if you have the wild urge to help support this chaos. You're dooning. What are you dooning? Mm. And the last but not least is that time of year where um, stuff happens and things get tight and whatnot. So if y'all want to, it's okay. Dune purchases how to purchase the Dune video game from me, and the the last one is exclamation point donate. That is my PayPal. If you want to donate indirectly, subs are great, but PayPal comes directly to me, and Twitch doesn't take their chunk. So, which is always the hard part. So let me do some cake mix here. That way it goes straight to me and not to Twitch. Twitch takes its cut, which I respect. They have a business to run, but they make it very, very difficult for people to monetize. It's a hard hustle, and well, I never expect to make money off of this or survive on it. Excuse me. It'd be nice to be able to break even on things like the cookbooks and the materials, or if something breaks, you did things. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you, Kason. Um, on things like equipment, like my motherboard. All right, my motherboard, the USBs are questionable. The power keeps cutting out to them. So that is an issue that will eventually, sooner or later, will need to be remedied. And motherboards, in theory, aren't expensive, but there's always, you got to make sure whatever hardware you have. Um, hey there, is compatible. All right, my machine's not that old, and my CPU cooler fan has been making some scary noises. So, you know, that's that's the thing. But I do know it's a rough time of year. Yeah, welcome. I'll get. Yeah, my CPU fans. I can hear it making these kind of. It sounds like the bearings are going. It does spin fine. I've cleaned it out. It wasn't dirty before, but I have cleaned it out. It's not the GPU fans because they're not spinning. Um, so I know which one it is, and I can keep track of my temp. It's not like crazy, crazy, but okay. And that just goes right there in the bottom. Ta-da! Pan is ready. And that way, whenever we pop it out of the spring form, it'll be a little bit easier to cut. Right? That's the plan. All right, so then I need to prep my cake. I need the cooking oil. There's that. I need water and eggs. Eggs. I'm gonna use a whole six pack of eggs today. Me. All right. Okay. I'm going to use this one for the cake mix, and then I'll use this one for the other blending because I'm going to have to use a hand mixer, and this will be not as loud for my son, who does not dig the loud noises, which I can respect. Okay. It says I need, I'm just going to put it on the thing and mix it. Very handy. 1 cup of water. So 1 cup of water is 8 ounces, which is about 250 milliliters of water. And 3 eggs and half a cup of vegetable oil. The idea is like this is like it's just spiced cake, and that will be our crust. I got very lucky the second time I got married. I know it doesn't feel lucky, but my mother-in-law was a great lady, and she and I were friends until she died. But she used to make this pumpkin cheesecake at Thanksgiving that was so good, and I never got the recipe from her. Ooh, that smells spicy. You can smell the allspice in the cloves. Ooh, smells like fall. We said it takes 1 cup water, 3 large eggs, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. Look. It's all good. It's all good. That's the plan anyway, right? 3 eggs. And then we said half a cup of oil. Yeah. Goes over there. Half cup is 4 ounces. Also about 150 milliliters. Remember, ideally, you want to use a liquid measure for liquids and not the measuring rule for our measure cups. Now I'm going to turn the oven on. It says 350 Fahrenheit, which is 180 Celsius. There we go. And we're going to mix up the cake. Come over here so I can read the chat. Showers are good. And we're going to mix the cake up. I tried a pumpkin spice latte the other day, and that was foul. I love pumpkin pie, but that was I got like 1 sip of that coffee in, and I was like, nope. I don't know what it set off a very visceral no to me. It reminded me, I think, of whenever you cut a pumpkin and the guts. There's a very strong smell. If you've never cut pumpkin before, they're really strong smell on the inside. And I was just like, nope. I don't know why. They just did. I like the idea of jack-o'-lanterns, but actually cutting one, you have to clean them out. That's just not at all. But yeah, it's all good. Now it's very specific. It says to only use 2.5 cups of this cake mix. So I don't know how much that will be, but we also don't want to fill up the pan because we don't want it to overflow. It is fun to cut them up. I mean, but at the same time, there's the smell and the texture of, pumpkin guts. But a time-honored tradition. It's the most American thing I've seen said all day, throwing the guts around. Okay, how are you? Okay. So let me rinse out this mug here. Make it home and have your carrot cake. I know you had said you'd gotten some carrot cake today. Carrot cake's just one of those things I never got into. Every now and then I like the frosting that goes on carrot cake, but I like cream cheese. But I'm not a big fan of carrot cake. It has to be dry. I think that's why I don't like it. Okay. So it specifically said 2.5 cups batter, which is 2 cups is 16 ounces. Half would be 24 ounces. So that is just shy of, it's about 670 milligrams ish, if you're playing in metric. Oh, I'm not sure if that's all of the cake mix or if that's because it specifically gave you a specific amount. It didn't say just use it. So, and it looks like I just dirty the cup for nothing because that's about the right. Because we said it was 24. 2.5 cups. 2 cups is a cup is 8 ounces. 2 cups is 16. Half cups, 16 plus 4 is 20. Okay, yeah, that's not the whole thing. It's almost the whole thing. Maybe it was wise to use the measuring cup to do this. Okay. And then it goes. This is actually the moment of truth. Is will the pan hold the cake batter? That's my bigger concern. Did I set the cake up right? This is covering up the bottom of it, maybe 1/4 inch. So this is going to be our crust. All right. Don't ask me what I'm going to do with the rest of this cake batter because I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Okay. Make a mini cake. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. Do I have something I could use? So it says to pop this in here for 15 minutes. It gives me a minute to get a sip of water. And then set up for the next part of this. Get stuff out of my way. Okay. I don't want to jinx it, but that went smooth. So That's good. Ah. Yes, shameless plug! Exclamation point merch. Mm. I don't know what kind of merch I would do for this. I am really surprised though. I was a little concerned because these are a little bit pricey. I don't know. I was like, ugh. Ooh, it is late though, Donner. But yes, Donner's a good way to spend the day though. Hmm. We lived we lived in Arnstadt. There was the first place we lived that we were down the street from a place that it was an Italian family guy that owned the Donner place and timer, and they made great Donner, the best Donner, and he did this thing with pasta and cheese where he would throw it all in the oven, and it was to die for. It was so good. And then we moved, and we were above another Donner place that wasn't as good, but it was very convenient, so we couldn't complain. Could not complain. That part. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those days where Meg can't make the buttons work. Shock, I know. Okay, that part's done. The question now, I'm going to set this aside because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. In all honesty, it would make like a little tiny cake, and spice cake is so distinctive. I don't know if I would want to eat a whole bit by itself. There's a chain here called German Donner. Excuse me, the last place I was in was owned by, I'm going to guess it was Turks. They were not German, which is fine, but it was all right for a chain. I don't complain, but there's just something about you know yeah, there's just something about having a good Donner, and even if you know that the kitchen is like terrifying, if the food is good, it's worth the risk. Okay, so we're going to put together the cream cheese, and we're going to beat it until it's a bit more in submission. This has been sitting out for a bit, so it's relatively soft, but we do need to kind of get it all kind of creamed together. So there that goes. Make me in a spatula. Damn it. Watch this one. Good thing about this, the cake can be. Yeah, you need some real food, woman. Eat. Okay. Beat until it's fluffy. Then we're gonna put in the eggs, the pumpkin, the sweetened condensed milk, and the pumpkin pie spice. Okay. So hopefully this won't be too loud for you guys. Let me warn my kiddo that this is about to get a little loud. And because the outlets in here died, outlets, so I've got an extension cord to run. Hopefully it's long enough, and hopefully it doesn't blow anything up because that's the kind of flat I've got. That's my luck. 220 and we're dead. All right. Actually, how about I not plug that in until I get the beaters on because it's not, speaking of dying. All right. Let's not die. I remember the last time I used this. I've baked something that needed these. When? I don't remember. Because I was really impressed that the mic doesn't pick it up. So, alrighty. It says beat until fluffy. It's a Mexican American comedian, Fluffy. He's pretty funny. Alrighty. Where? That is fluffy. You need to get some food. Get you some food. Um, eggs. We already had. It requires 3 more eggs. Come on. 1, 2. Yeah, food is good. You can't run on willpower alone, my friend. 3 eggs. Back to the hand washing. I hate to say it is like the size of that bowl that is. It's very, very tiny. Graham cookies, maybe. I don't know. I don't usually use a mixer for cookie batter. No, don't remember. Um, eggs, pumpkin. uh, Remember, food safety. Don't use your finger to pop that lid out if you like your fingers attached. Those are very sharp. Okay. I've got some cardboard in the rubbish, kind of stuck it down in the cardboard so it doesn't poke a hole. In goes our pureed pumpkin. I would guess you could probably make your own pureed pumpkin if you didn't mind doing the extra work, but curing a pumpkin is a lot of work. The last time I made pumpkin pie was in 1999, and I had a friend come over, a neighbor come over, and we did pumpkins. And oh, it was so much work. It was a finger between friends. What is this finger between friends? It is. This is about spooky season. And how much? 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. The, the only thing I remember this being used for as a kid, where is my little, aha. Um, my mom learned how to make fluff. And for those who are not Americans or from that part of the States, fluff for us was a thing of Cool Whip, a can of cherry pie filling, a can of this, and some walnuts. And you essentially, um, mix it all together. And it's a sugar bomb and is often taken to church functions, um, served at holiday stuff too. Um, but it's actually quite disgusting. It's so sweet. And once you've had real whipped cream, Cool Whip just doesn't hold a candle to. And then It's exciting. I know for a long time, Halloween was just not a thing. There was someone on Reddit the other day, like the Ask UK thing or whatever, that was really, really mad that Halloween is showing up in the UK, and it's like you guys know that it kind of started here, right? Yes, it's based on local tradition. So um, yeah, I mean, I get that there's this commercialization, and that's not good. But I like the idea of Halloween, and my son's got his costume already, and every year we decorate the door. Um, so it's fun. We have fun with it. Also, if you like sweet coffee, this stuff's really good. It's just really thick. It's kind of on the thick. It's a lot thick. One bad thing about the states around Halloween is it's so many of the subdivisions and things have gotten to where they don't do trick or treating. It's really hard to find um, places that do it, and you really can't find any here. We live in an apartment block, so we get kids occasionally use kids inside the building, and I'll decorate the doors so that they know they can come here. But it's such a diverse area. We have lots of from Africa and different places in Europe and things, and so they don't always do Halloween. So sometimes we get good, and sometimes we don't. And the last thing we needed was 4 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice. I just had it. Where did it go? Oven's getting hot. Right on time. Okay. Roll down there. And then I can do dishes while we're waiting, all right? Whoa, that stuff's strong. This is cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and cloves. So it gives us that nice warm. The Reformation Day, which makes sense. Which makes sense. Four 4 teaspoons, not 4 tablespoons. That could have been foul. Good thing I double checked. 4 teaspoons, which is about a tablespoon and a smidge. One, two, three, 4 teaspoons. That would have been very strong. I mean, this smells really strong. I am not a fan of cloves in general. Smelling clove tends to kind of make me gag. I had a bad run in with a clove once. Um, there was a thing in the states called Amp Guard, which was kind of like poor man's SCA. It's kind of like D&D with PVC and close cell phone, but there was a big gathering. I can't remember what it was called, but different groups from around the area all came for like a big camp out thing and a big kingdom meeting. And um, there's a tradition in Amcard. I forget which movie they took it from. There's a tradition in Amcard about the clove and orange. And basically, a bunch of guys take oranges and they stick cloves in it, and they dig around and they give it to somebody. And if they give it to you, you have two options to take a clove out. You can take the clove out with your hands, and then they have to kiss your hand, or you can pull it out with your teeth, and they have to kiss you in the mouth. Well, I thought I'd be clever, pull it out with my teeth, and he came at me with fun, and I ended up swallowing the clove. And I don't know if you ever swallowed whole clove. It's not nice. So it's been a lot of years, and I'm still just thinking about that clove. All righty, here we go again with the blender. Uh, it's not done, but I just scrape the sides. Whoa. Where'd it go? The spice, being lots of cinnamon, is hydrophobic. So that's what I used the blender for, was making cinnamon rolls. Okay. Yeah. Clove. So to this day, every time I think about clove, I'm like, this is very thin. What good timing. It is very orange. It's in an orange bowl, which does not help. It's a little more tan than orange, but it looks like pumpkin pie. That's what it looks like. I need, that's not what I want. Fingers crossed. Hot. Put that there for a moment. It looks good. It's it's that color. I mean, it is in an orange bowl, but it's kind of that browny orange color. It definitely looks like pumpkin pie. Okay, so that is mixed. Pour it over the hot cake crust. Fill it to about an inch from the top, which is about that much. It's about 2.5 centimeters for those of you playing with metric. Uh, reduced down to 300 degrees. Crap, it is 300 degrees in Celsius. So many cookbooks are in um, imperial standards. Okay, so you need 300. That is 150 Celsius. But first, I need to do that. Okay. It's out of my way. That's not what I wanted to do. The apron is for, right? And it says to pour about an inch from the top. So the cake did rise up a little bit in the middle. I am wondering a thing because this is a lot left over. I only have one cake pan though. I wonder if I could make a second one with the leftover batter in another pan. What do I got? What do I got? What do I got? Yeah. But I'm gonna pop this in first, start that timer going. I do have a second timer, and then we will race to make some cake here because that only used up about half this batter. And I did use the proper size pan, I promised. I did double check. I don't want that to overflow. Okay. Now the fun part, getting a hot pan back in the oven. And then I will prep the second pan. Because I got to bake the batter and then get it in it. Okay. That one, I believe, is a shorter bake time. Yeah, I have no intention of burning the fuck out of myself. I'm more worried about a mess if I drop it. For 45 minutes. So let's get that started. Timer where no one can see it, right? 30, 45 minutes. Okay. And then the second pan, let's get this party started, right? We said we need butter. And I can just pour that batter in, and then, because it's already all made, I just need it in the pan. Now I know their measurements are a bit wonky doodle. Or get a second pan. The Kink gave me that pan. That was one that I put on my wish list. He got that for my birthday. That just said in the recipe thing and in the cake itself, it just said to use pan spray, which again I don't have, uh, but that means I don't need to flour it. I'm just going to butter it really, really good. And these pans are really good. These were also a gift from Jason, and so they are really nice to bake with. I've made the French toast in those. But now the oven temp is a little cooler than with the full cheesecake thing versus just the batter thing, but it's a smaller pan, so I'm gonna cross my fingers and we're gonna experiment, right? We're gonna experiment. I still don't think this is gonna fit, but this will at least save some of the batter. Everything won't be wasted. So now what we know is next time have a second pan ready to go. The problem with that is my son won't eat this. I will be eating this until Christmas, and I will be appropriately sized. It's been months to get into your clothes, and then 2 months to get back out of them. Okay, and that's about the same depth in the bottom. I I still have this fantasy someday of having a big space. I have a timer, so I could have people around that wanted to be around. You know, land, and everybody could build their own little houses, and we'd have the best internet and a garden and all that good stuff. Where is the on button? Is it really loud? Sorry. Uh, so let's say we're gonna put that at 14 minutes for this one, and the other one's already in. There's not really use all of that, but I think we can make a good stab at it. And if nothing else, people have tried something, and we'll see if it works. The other one I'm pretty confident on. It looks like it's supposed to at this point. We won't know how it tastes until tomorrow. As far as the cheesecake thing, but so let's try this. So someone asked about the color. I know it may not be true to whatever, but that's what color it is. It tastes like pumpkin cheesecake. It's very nice. That is quite nice. So I'm going to need. Yep, we have a Discord. We got really lucky. We got some good people hanging out in the Discord. A variety of people with a variety of nerdy interests. And it's been a little quiet lately, but I think people, it's kind of that time of year where things are kind of in at work. People are going back to school, or things are shifting around, getting into a fall um, mindset for, their different jobs and things. So I'm going to set all this in here to soak for later because I don't feel like doing the dishes right now. It won't fit so bad, right? Yeah, like I said, there's people. There's a whole lot of seasonal gear shifting. I think for a lot of people between work and school. Um, Time change is coming up in a few weeks here. That's always a thing. So it's been kind of quiet. But I mean, even then, people pop in and say, "Hey, I'm still alive." That part's always nice. Even if we don't feel alive, we're still here. We're still here. Okay, so that actually was mostly painless. So now is the waiting part. It's the waiting part, and it's fine. It's fine. We need to find some games or something we can do this way. But the problem is, again, I'm not on Twitch proper. I'm using a different software, so I can't access things like Restream has with all the bots and things. Things are getting wet over here. You don't want wet things sitting. That gets manky. No one wants manky stuff. I did have still out. Where did it go? Hold on. I had bought a card game because it looked funny. Aha. And it's from the oatmeal called Horrible Therapist. And it's a game kind of like Cards Against Humanity, where people pick things that are funny out of it. But the idea is you're going to make a little cartoon strip with the cards. So got the whole rule thing and all that stuff, which we're not going to do because obviously. But so you go to your therapist, right? And the therapist asks a question, right? And so you have your question cards that your therapist asks you, and you have the answer, which is your problem. Whoops, there's a whole bunch of them. And then you have your treatments. And some of these are just wrong. So, like, first question, what happened at school today? So this would be like everybody would put their cards in and we would find one that was funny. So we're just gonna take them off top because that's where we are. What happened in school today? The answer, what happened in school today? I hung out with Britney Spears. And the solution to that problem is I'm not reading that out loud. Yeah. Moving on. Next question. Oh, you can't read that. Um. Well, I've got this bucket of if you need it. Got this bucket of cum if you need it. Because you hang out all day with Britney Spears. That is your that is your treatment. It's that kind of game. Um, what happened when you tried speed dating? I dug up Michael Jackson's corpse. And the treatment for this problem is, well, here's a dead pig. It's kind of odd. Yeah. What happened at the dance recital? Got a boob job. And the treatment for that problem, would you mind live streaming it next time? Ah. Oh, what happened in English class? We talked for hours and hours about Bitcoin. Okay, as an English teacher, this is actually a plausible problem. Problem. And the treatment for talking for hours and hours about Bitcoin is, my God, that's beautiful. Eh, it works. Question from your therapist: why are you so anxious today? Existence. The answer: I spent my entire time talking about my peanut allergy. And the treatment: God bless America. Can you see how this game could be lots of fun with the right group of people? It's like Cards Against Humanity, and you're just making. Yes, yes. Why'd you stop taking your medication? I found out my parents are getting divorced. And the treatment? Are you going to put that on your OnlyFans? Oh, my Lord. I'm going to move that out of the way for the next round. We're going to move the next bit in a few minutes. Why are you staring at me like that? And the answer is, I got in a fight. Our treatment? I did the same thing at Dave and Buster's, LOL. I mean, that's legit. That's legit. Oh, why do you keep giggling? And the answer is, some random person keeps texting me nudes. Also legit. I laugh too. And the solution? Yeah, I saw that on Pornhub. Ah. Okay. These cards are funny. These cards are real funny. Let me set the timer here out of the way because we got two timers going. We've got this one for the small one, and then we've got 30 minutes left on the big one. But I need to sit for a moment so I don't fall down. Okay, put that in the bin, get them away. I'm still here. Okay. Submarine guy got a text and he thought it said send nudes. His sailor mate turned around and asked, "Are you sure it wasn't send nukes?" Possible. Question: why are you breaking up with me? Wait, some of these are gone. Answer: I just spent 14 hours looking at porn. Way to make someone feel bad. And the solution? Well, I've got a Ziploc bag if you need it. Ah, that's just. Oh my lordy, these are just kind of wrong. Smells like pumpkin pie in here. I like it. Why won't you marry me? Question. Answers is my parents put me up for adoption. And see how that would leave you feeling a little lost and confused. And the solution? Oh yeah, I saw that on your mom's TikTok. Oh, already. That's just kind of rude. That's just kind of rude. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, no, you gotta watch out for Doggo not running out the door. Question: what happened in your bedroom closet last night? The answer: some random person stole my medication. Hey, War Wizard, long time no see. Solution: LMAO, someone just said the funniest thing post. No, no asparagus for making pumpkin cheesecake. Pumpkin spice cheesecake. And while we're waiting for stuff to move around, we're playing game. We're laughing here. Question from your therapist: why did you get fired? Drive safe. Answer: I went to a giant orgy. Okay, so that was, we're pulling out the second one. And in a moment, we'll get our treatment to this the giant orgy problem. Yeah, we won't get that one filled up either, but we'll at least get some of this used up. To be fair, yeah. I'm curious how full I can make this. The other one said to fill it within an inch of the top, but I'm wondering, this is my experimental one here. How full I can make it. I'll put it on a pan just in case because I don't feel like cleaning at the bottom of my. I better not get salmonella either because it's got raw egg in it. These cards, hold on, give me a second. I'll show you the box again. Okay. And then that one needs to be set for 45 minutes. Also, get in there. Sorry, it's gonna be a few minutes beeping. Okay, second one. So this is a card game called Horrible Therapist. And so there are three card types. There's a question card, there's an answer card, and there's a treatment card. So we have, why'd you get fired? Because you went to a giant orgy. And the solution for your problem is, oh yeah, I saw that on Reddit. So normally you would play this with a group of people. You play it a lot like Cards Against Humanity, where you put together the funny ones. But because it's just us sitting here waiting for cheesecake, this is what we got. What is our problem? What did you do over Christmas break? The answer: I ate a bunch of glow sticks and they hurt my tummy. I don't know if you can see that picture. I know the text is kind of blurry, but he's having a glow stick explosion. And the solution to your glow stick problem is, oh yeah, I saw that on Nextdoor. Not as funny as some of the other ones, but yeah, it's just a way to pass time, kind of like Cards Against Humanity, only less vulgar, and I can say some of these things for my kid without total mortification. Question: why do you smell so strange? Some of the answers we've seen so far. Why do you smell so strange? It's just a guy on the couch vomiting. That's the answer. Why do you smell so strange? And the treatment for lying on the couch and vomiting is, OMG, you totally belong in Gryffindor? I think that's more Ravenclaw, party people, but what do I know? I don't do Harry Potter. Question: why are you all wet? Answer: I became an anti-vaxxer. Response: I told you to stop flying United. Good French one. It's called Le Bon No Habla French. Yeah, you became an anti-vaxxer from flying United Airlines. I don't know either. These are kind of random. These are random. That's the fun of it. They're random. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? I kissed a dead subway rat. That's the point. Is you would have a it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity. So you have there's a whole lot more. There's this many question cards, for example, right? And then you have this many answer cards and the same amount of treatment cards. So if someone would ask a question, everybody puts in their answers and their solutions, and then you mix and match to find one that's you find the funniest. They're really not going to make sense. They're just meant to be silly. But we kissed a subway rat, and then our since for the Americans, the treatment for kissing a subway rat was, I told you to stop eating at Chipotle. That one actually makes sense if you know American fast food. A lot of these, unfortunately, are very kind of culture bound. So if you're not American, they're not going to make so much sense. This is done by the cartoonists that do the oatmeal cartoons. So, hey, Chris, our question: why didn't you visit your mother last week? They on a funny one to go with that. Some options here, not that funny. Come on. So a potential answer for that one is, I realized in order to love others, I need to first love myself. Eh. I sat on Santa's lap. I huffed a bunch of Glade plugins, or I became a huge fan of Imagine Dragons. Let's go with I sat on Santa's lap. So why didn't you visit your mother last weekend? You sat on Santa's lap. And the answer to that is sweet. Did you guys have Home Depot and have sex on the display toilets again? Even I don't even know how to respond to that one. Santa's lap. That escalated very quickly. That escalated. So it sounds like a Saturday night in Waffle House. That's mostly it's just us waiting for the cheesecake. The first cheesecake is got about 20 minutes left on the baking part, and then my second attempt has got 40 minutes left still. And so we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. We did discover that we need essentially two of the round cake pans, not just one, and to use up all the stuff because I got a whole bunch of cheesecake batter that I have no idea what I'm going to do. I only have one of the proper pan for it. I do have a second one in, but it's not the right size either. So there's still some. It used up all of the crust, but I have too much filling essentially, and I'm not sure what to do with this extra cheesecake filling because it's got egg in it. You can't just. It's not a good idea to just eat it. That and I have a mild egg allergy. I love soft-boiled eggs and I love poached eggs, but they don't necessarily love me back. So I can have eggs mixed in things, like cakes and things like that, but like eating an egg. If I get when I get the flu vaccine, I have to always ask for the non-egg version because there's a type that's commonly grown in egg white. I can't have that one because it's straight up egg white. But yeah, we got. I'm trying to think of things we can do for some of these longer streams because we've got. I've got these. I do have Cards Against Humanity, um, which if you've never played that, it can get kind of graphic and yeah. Without crust for cheesecake, you just have a gelatinous mess. You need something to hold it together. Unfortunately. So the question, why are you feeling so down? The answer, I was aggressively masturbated while watching Avatar. I mean, I don't kink shame as if it floats your boat. And the treatment for aggressively masturbating to Avatar is that's exactly how I got banned from Applebee's. My son's snickering in the background. Right then. Oh, yeah, you mix and match them. That's what you do. Why'd you miss your son's birthday? Imagine that one for aggressively masturbating. Um, Answer: I boofed a bunch of Adderall. I can see you missing a whole lot of time snorting Adderall. And the solution to your problem of missing your son's birthday and snorting all the Adderall is, oh God, that's totally going on Pinterest. I need more card games or something to play. Why do you think your kids won't speak to you? That's your problem. The answer: hung out with Jeff Bezos. Kids should not speak to you if you hang out with Jeff Bezos. So this is be real. And the treatment for hanging out with Jeff Bezos. That was very funny. Did you get drunk on White Claw again? I think I've missed the White Claw movement. I'm from the Bartles and James Vancouver, and Zima. Oh God, I love Zima. I don't know. I've never seen them, but mine was when I was here. It was Bartles and James wine coolers. I like the berry ones and Zima. I miss Zima with the blue bottles and the blue labels on the funky shaped bottles. How'd it go with your Uncle Keith? The answer is I know you can't read the text, but it's a guy standing on the couch farting in the therapist's general direction. That's how it went with Uncle Keith. I related to some of those people. And the treatment is that why my Citizen app keeps buzzing? Uh, what happened during family therapy? We went to New Jersey. Okay. And the solution, I don't know if I can describe this. It's the therapist. He's kind of on top of the client, and there's captions that say slorp, slop, smack, slorp, lick, slorp. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's that one is how that one goes. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Question. Happened the last time you made love to your husband? Answer. I decorated my vagina with Christmas lights. I don't know if you can see the guy, he's got Christmas lights on the front. And the treatment for decorating your vagina with Christmas lights is your therapist vomiting. Well, I don't kink shame, but Christmas lights just sounds uncomfortable. Stuck to any part of the body. Just saying. What'd you do when you found out your father died? I read all the Twilight books and the treatment. Sons of your waiting in anticipation. I can hear him. It's a picture. He's doing this and he's saying, directed towards my mouth next time. Some terms and service for this stream. I don't know. I don't know. These are bad. Why can't you sleep? The answer is I took too much acid. That would do it. Can't sleep, can't sleep, can't sleep. Response, the treatment. That's exactly why I stopped eating at Chick-fil-A. Fair enough. And that's the fun of the game is there's all this potential mix and match that could go really good. Much like Cards Against Humanity. These aren't as there's some of those type cards in here where like Cards Against Humanity is very skewed against definitely from the adult crowd. Um, these aren't as bad. Why are you so angry? You fell in love with someone else. And the treatment for that, it's the therapist. He's got on a collar and he has a paddle. And he's saying, sounds like someone is a dirty boy who needs a spanking. If I guess if they have exchanged safe words and everybody's consenting, by all means, get to it. You get banned from Twitter. Why'd you get banned from Twitter? That's been a funny one. I got a huge boner that would not go away. And the treatment for that. Did you bring me back a piece to eat? This is the other card of put it in my mouth. Maybe. There's lots of options. This could go all kinds of ways. It could go. Don't play this with your children without sorting through first, or having really wrong children. I don't know. Um, so yeah, card games. This one's for. Uh, it says 17 and up because there's explicit cards for 3 to 8 players. So basically, you have a person who has the answer card, the question card. Everybody else has answers and solutions, and you pick the funny ones and then points. So it's yeah. I like a good silly game. Requires no parts, no thinking, just a little bit of alcohol and a bunch of ridiculousness, and you'd have a party night, right? You'd have a party. Wait, because I'm gonna have to pull this first one out here in a minute, and it's getting very warm sitting here. Okay. But some of these problems cards, I touched the president of the United States. I got really into astrology. I got a vasectomy. I've been creeping my ex's socials. It occurred to me I crave conflict. My first husband. Hung out with Roseanne Barr. Mm-mm-mm. Hung out with Hillary Clinton, Rudy Giuliani. I tried yoga for the first time and started posting hourly Instagram photos of my life. That would definitely need an intervention. I'll hang out with Kanye. Yeah. I chewed through my restraints. And some of the solution ones. Well, I've got a Bible if you need it. I'm way too high for this. I hope you stretched afterwards. Can you say that again, but in a slow, sexy voice? I do that every night while thinking of you. You fuck, the Molly's kicking in. Yeah, I saw that through your bedroom window last night. That explains the police helicopters overhead. So yeah, fun things to do. I don't know if they have a German version. So much of that stuff is a lot of humor is very culture based. So I don't know if that would be something Kay and Chris would enjoy, because even though being you know extremely fluent in language is hard stuff sometimes. Let me put it this way. But yeah, I've got this. I've got Cards Against Humanity. I've got Exploding Kittens, but I don't think we've ever played that one either. What else we got? Oh, I have Mad Libs. Mad Libs is always fun. I'm of an age where we played Mad Libs in school, and I used it a lot when I was teaching. Mad Libs are always fun to play. Curious how this looks at the top looks really good. The bottom one, I was worried about it rising too much. It hasn't yet. It's close though, so that's why I put it on a pan. The top one, the edges are close. The center is caved in a little bit, but that's very typical in cheesecakes. And it's only got about 5 more minutes left. What is its done condition? That it's okay. Bake 45 to 50 minutes or until the center of the cheesecake is set and the edges are golden brown. Let cool completely and serve. So again, we're back to that cool completely. A cheesecake can take several hours to cool completely and set completely. So we won't be cutting it tonight, but I will be posting pictures on my Discord tomorrow um, once I cut into it. The problem, Oleg, with games that I have from the kitchen at least is I don't have access to Twitch, and so I'm using a third-party piece of software. Um, so, like I said before, if something goes on Twitch, like someone raids or someone subs, or whatever, I don't see any of that. So if stuff's going on, please tell me I can't see it, and I want to go. Woo! Um, so I don't know how I would manage games on this particular because this is my son's laptop. I don't know how we would manage games. So it's got 3 minutes left. The smaller ones still has 22 minutes left, and we shall see how these turn out. I'm very, very curious. The loaf one probably wasn't the best choice, but I'm kind of curious how it will come out of the pan. I hope I greased it well enough. Fingers crossed. Mm. Ideally, in 2 weeks is the Thursday before Halloween. I'll be making Halloween themed cupcakes. What I'll be doing is actually making the cupcakes ahead of time so that they will be cold because we want to decorate the cupcakes. I have a recipe for making black icing. I'm going to do some red velvet cakes with black icing and then do some fun decorating things. I have never used a piping thing ever in my life. So we're going to be channeling the channel's name of some mayhem and see what kind of mess we can make with some red velvet Halloween themed cupcakes. Um, I have no idea what I'm going to do with the podcast. I need to go do the podcast. I haven't done a podcast in a couple of weeks. 3 weeks? Sorry, it's been a few weeks. I have the general content for one, but I haven't read today's patch notes, and I don't have any lore prepared. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing on Saturday. I should do something. I just don't know what. Join the Discord and we can have that discussion. I do have a Thopter now. What happened with the Thopter is, so we did the first stream and spent 3 hours getting done with what I got done, and then set it aside for 2 weeks. And we came back, and after 2 hours, I realized that there had been a mistake made in the first stream, and so I had to, at the end of that stream, I said, and one of the reasons I quit then because I couldn't proceed because I had to take the whole thing apart and lose like 5 hours worth of work. I think it was about 3 hours worth of work to undo and go back and fix the fuselage from before. So it wasn't the reason that the tension thing wouldn't go in is because the fuselage was wrong, which was something from the first stream. So it was a lot of hours of work I had to undo. And I went ahead and finished it the next day on my own. And then it worked. And so, yes, I will show it off next time in my bedroom because it's on my dresser. I will never touch it again. It's not, no, no, I will never. That is the most complex thing I have ever put together. It's got, I mean, the wings vibrate a little bit, they pop out, the cockpit opens up so you can put your people in. But it is a little I want to say flimsy, but it doesn't feel super solid. The landing gear go up and down. I mean, it's very intimidating. But yeah, I had to go back and undo like 3 hours worth of work to fix the real problem that happened on that stream. Not because it was the um, no, no. If someone wants to put lights on it, they can come to my house and they can put the fucking lights on. I am not putting the lights on that thing. I'm not taking it apart. No, 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 not happening. Okay, so the first one is done. So let's pull that out. And uh, hopefully I can get it out of here in one piece. My lord, this looks beautiful. That is a beautiful cheesecake. Let me get the camera here so y'all can see. That looks amazing. Smells really good too. So, um, personally, I would avoid every holiday as an excuse to drain money. Yeah, I mean, and I respect that. I respect that. I pick and choose my battles for what I celebrate, and not mostly. Um, the world is kind of crap, and for me, I need to have something to look forward to. I need to have something to kind of celebrate and do. And so for me, fall holidays scratches that itch. I respect other people not wanting to do stuff, especially the really commercial ones like Christmas and Valentine's Day. They're like crazy commercial, but they're all getting that way. They're all kind of leaning that way, and it is a concern. And I respect people who don't want to, but Halloween's one I still enjoy, and we can celebrate low key here. And yeah, people are pinging me. Why are people pinging me? So I hit the wrong button. Okay, random pings, always the best. But no, we celebrate. We don't really celebrate a whole lot of like Christmas or anything or Easter or any of that. We really only do. Um, probably the biggest one is Halloween that we do. And I will post on the Discord when we do our Halloween decorations and get them all up, such as they are. I like to decorate the door, but I don't trust that someone's not going to fuck with it. I don't trust that someone's not going to fuck with it. Ping, ping, ping. Yeah, I mean, there's there's ways of doing anything on a budget. You don't have to go all out. And I mean, if you're having a party with kids, like okay, I'm extolling virtues. This cookbook has stuff for the whole year. So for October, let's look at October here. September, October. So obviously most of the stuff here is going to be Halloween stuff, but there's mummy donut holes. So you buy some donut holes and you put some frosting and dots on them. And there, look, you got party favorites. You got party food for your kids. Candy corn cupcakes. Can't stand candy corn, but there's your sugar bomb if you want to eat some candy corn. Homemade root beer. There's eyeballs. There's white chocolate monster munch. Uh, Cupcakes. candy corn fudge. Uh, so I mean, you can do stuff for a party pretty cheaply. I don't get super expensive candies and things for the kids. We don't get many kids here because we're in a building anyway. Ginger snap cookies. Um, Here's a dinner and a pumpkin. It's a pumpkin, olive oil, assorted vegetables like celery, carrots, onions, green peppers, sweet potatoes, mushrooms, a pound of lean ground turkey, soy sauce, cream of chicken soup, and brown rice. And essentially, it's all gonna end up inside your pumpkin. You can do low key stuff. There's lots of stuff on Pinterest. There Instructables has lots of stuff for you to do things at home with the kids if you're doing a kid party, so you don't have to get crazy with it. And the adults, of course, can spend their own money how you want. Mm. I was a little sad last year because we didn't have any trick or treaters. No one came last year, and it was really disappointing. But let me see, I saved them because they're they're just sugar. But I got something specific for the teenagers who keep coming to our freaking door and trying to kick it in, and they have the tenacity to come try and get sweets. Um, to the Americans, you guys know what these are. These are toxic waste. They're like atomic warheads. And yeah, they come in different flavors. I would not give these to a small child. This is for the teenagers who come to my door because I know I usually have sweets. These things are so sour that you're convulsing on the floor crying kind of treats. Here, you asshole, this is what you get for kicking my door and drawing dicks on my car. That's what you get. Trick or treat. Kids get gummies. Little kids get gummies. Teenagers get sour bombs. You say if you've been in the States, those are really, really sour. You've seen people kind of do the kick convulse cry thing. They are a hard candy, and they are. Look up some videos of people eating like atomic warheads and the super sour candies. Um, That's what these are. Now, they're not common here. Those are I got those from there's an importer in London, something American Foods or something. They had some, and but they're not a British candy. They're not something you usually find here because there's too much sugar in them. But they're not something that kids here are accustomed to. Oh, hey Kay, there's one for you. See, yeah, I had a friend growing up who did the nail thing, and I'm pretty sure to this day she's my age. I'm pretty sure she still lost her fingers. She tried everything, and then she ended up on crack because I mean, just like she could not control the compulsive behaviors, and ended up, yeah. Stay around. Is it being a little bitch? Do I need to go? I can go do it in the other room, or are we all good? We know not to click on the thing. Yeah, it used to be kind of like a contest. How long could you hold it in your mouth before you just can't anymore? Thank you. But a bit like people fall for stuff. I've had a coworker who paid the ransom from those emails. I've been watching you do things. She paid the ransom. I'm like, what have you been doing that you did that? I'm looking at this woman going, someone's getting freaky when someone's watching. I don't think I've ever been hacked. Probably picked up a worm in the early days, maybe before there was good ad blockers and all that stuff. I don't doubt that we had some worm type things, but I don't recall ever being hacked. I ran a BBS back in the day, and so we were very particular about virus scanning and that sort of thing. Uh, on the excuse me, the Usenet groups doing getting downloads for things and yeah, things on the Usenet groups. But yeah, okay. So as this is cooling, this is shrinking a little bit. It's oof, yeah. Even it's really difficult to stay virus free forever, especially when you're prolific. So that is how it's setting. So it takes a couple of hours to completely set and cool on the inside because it's a liquid, so it's going to stay almost molten on the inside for a while. But that is a really good looking cheesecake. And the more you go on different sites and do things like he would have been doing, it's inevitable that something is going to get you. You do good backups, you practice, the best hygiene you can. It's like any other thing, eventually, um, doctors get sick. People, even experts sometimes catch the germs. There is a microwave right there that hasn't been touched in years. It's the circuit for it's off. I never use it. I never use it. Um, it's not to blind everybody. She says that she probably blinds everybody. That looks freaking amazing. It's pulling away from the edges a little bit because again, it's as the liquid part cools. Um, so it's you gotta let it, not jostle, and you gotta just let it sit. Because I don't have room, my fridge is this space right here. I don't have room for it to put it in the fridge to cool for 4 hours, so it's gonna have to sit out here overnight. The guy who does the big seminars and it's like the icon against scamming phishing and has a mailing list for dogs. Yeah, I said no one is impervious if you're online. This is and I've said this before, like in terms of doing people talking about the guys doing the RMP stuff and the duping bots and things like that. It is really difficult to prevent all of that. You do what you can, but breaking shit is easy. Stopping it is harder. And so you have to understand how it broke. And while you're trying, it's all of that's always reactive, always reactive. Um, I still get those emails, and those always crack me up. I mean, I'm like, care, care, share my stuff. I don't care. So I was looking at the numbers. I was like, how long have we been going? We've been going for a little while. Um, I'm curious how the second one is coming. It looks good. It's also staying in the pan. I was a little concerned because I filled it a little full, but it is staying in the pan. I said I did put pan underneath it just in case. This one might need a few extra minutes because it was under, but it's smaller. So I don't know. I'm gonna look at it at the minimum time and see. Look, my mom clicked the link. She was a link clicker, and she had gotten a PC. This was back in the early 90s, where you could get a budget PC under the condition you could not wipe it or format it for 2 years because it was full of all the spyware, and that was the trade off. You got this cheap PC, and they will track the ever loving fuck out of you. So you really couldn't have a whole lot of virus protection on it because it would have been tripped every time you opened up anything because it was always tracking you. And my mother is German, but she lived in the States for too long. And she found the Usenet groups from back in the day. And she said she was looking for some information on women in management roles because she was going to work on her management skills or something or whatever. I don't know. Women in management roles. And she found a Usenet group called Dominating Women. It was not women in management roles, not that way. And instead of just moving on, right? Look, move on. Instead of just backing out the door, oh no, she felt the need to say something. She felt the need to tell them what deviants they were. And then next thing you know, she's calling me up going, "Come fix my PC." And I'm like, they sent she got a lot of scathing emails and the virus, and we had to go fix her PC. She did a lot of she fucked up that PC so many times. And we never could stop her from clicking on shit. I'm like, and don't just back out. Who's a deviant? No one invited you to the party. Okay, you don't have to enter the space, and if you accidentally enter the space, you just leave. There's a little X up at the corner, just click it. Yes, whips and changes, Amy. Um, but she has some very puritanical Americanized views now. She's lived there for a long time. I remember last time I spoke with my aunt. I remember she was getting so angry and frustrated. You could see the veins on her forehead just go. She's like, "What happened to my sister?" And like my cousin was like, "She's not here. Breathe. Stop." I don't know. My mom's followed the Republican bill. I don't know. But yeah, early days unit groups. But that was back in the day where downloading images, they were so big, images would be cut into several chunks, and you had to grab them in pieces and then reassemble them on your end because they were just ridiculously sized. Bitmaps were fucking huge. GIFs were brand new and they were massive. And that's right when GIFs started. When GIFs first came out, this was in the 93, 94, I guess, because we were running the BBS. So, and then when you reassemble the pictures, if one of them was corrupt, your whole thing was corrupt. Or if what people would often do would be put viruses in those files for you to reassemble. So we got very, very lucky. Anything a little kinky, we just deleted. And we did all right. We were pretty popular BBS back in the day. Two phone lines running. I remember being so excited. We got up to 56K on both phone lines. You're like, woohoo! We're running high speed. Started out with that PC with a 9600 baud internal modem. By pigeon it to something, strap a letter to the pigeon's leg and let them go be faster. Put this out of the way here. That port fried early on in that PC's life, and end up having to go to an external. Well, sure thing. Have a good one. Thanks for popping in. We appreciate that. And have a good night. I'm fixing to pull the second one out. I'm gonna turn that off because that thing's stupidly loud. Push that back out of the way. Turn this oven off so it won't get blasted. Move my chair back. Hot air. Ooh, it smells like pumpkin. I really hate this bottom tray in here so much. It's not the one that came with the stove. It's got a lip on it that makes it very difficult That one's right up at the top. Also looks really good. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like pumpkin pie. Yes. Close that up and move out of the way. Now let's show off our hard-earned desserts. I am wondering if I do this again, do two that size, or just have three different pans ready because I still have a bit of cheesecake stuff. So I did it as it said, but sometimes it's a learning experience. I know you mentioned the carrot cake, but Donner is a good way to be full. Donner's really good. Okay, so now we're at the point of it'll be tomorrow. Um, this actually looks really good. It smells great, and I think it is definitely something doable. I'm more curious how this one's going to turn out because this one's kind of thrown together, and um, getting it out of that pan, you have to serve it out of the pan. It's going to be very messy because cheesecake is very messy. But it was that or at least all of it. So I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out. I know for like Basque type cheesecakes, they're very thick and you can actually slice it, but um, yeah, I don't know how that one's going to be. We'll have to see. Anywho, I did want to say thanks to everybody for coming in. If you're not already in the Discord, I saw our numbers went up at one point. So I was going to say if we have guests or new people here, you can find us in our Discord, which is !Discord. We're moderately nice. We're moderately nice. Very international. We have our moments. And I think this is a good place to wrap it up. I will catch everybody later. I will see everybody in the Discord. Need ideas for the next ones. Looking for ideas for what to do Saturday for streaming. I don't know if we do the podcast or not, but let me know. So I will catch everybody later. Have a good night, and thanks everybody so much for sitting with me while we tried making some pumpkin cheesecake. I think it's going to turn out really good. So I'm off. I will catch everyone later.